Okay, here's my crew log here for 5 parsecs from home. Obviously I named my crew War Mutts. I have story points of only 8. I've gone ahead, since this is my first time doing this game, I opted for the first timer method. You have 4 methods to pick from when you're picking your crew, and first one is called first timer method. That's where you're gonna have you can have a 4, 5, or 6 man crew, and obviously I picked a 6 man crew, and the first timer method is all humans. That's recommended for beginners like me. And the names I got ahead and picked out, I pretty much went through a name generator. So I got Captain Byron Payne, and then crew member Glitch Shepherd, Doc Rubble, Norbert Hicks, Maddie Popkis, and Laura Bramble. And with the human, excuse me, again with the methods, you have the first timer method, then you have your standard method, which is 6 crew figures. 3 are always human, and then you can switch it around with a primary alien or a bot. Then you have your miniatures method, which is where you select your miniatures first, and then you you select the 6 miniatures you would like to play with from your collection, then choose from the crew types to match your selected miniature figures. The other one's a random method. That's where it's strictly you start from scratch. 6 crew figures, roll on the crew type tables. There's tables you're going to look at, and you use a D100 and you roll, and that's going to bring out each character, and each character is generated completely at random. So the other thing I want you guys to know is where it's called ability scores, where it's reactions, speed, combat, toughness, and savvy. Reactions is used to determine when a character can act during the battle round. So when we get to putting the miniatures on the game table, so if you have 6 miniatures, you're going to take 6 six-sided dice and you're going to roll them. And whatever your reaction number is, like for Byron Payne, it's a 1. And if one of those dice has a 1, then he's going to be considered a fast reaction. And the others that don't, where the other dice don't match the reaction numbers, they're going to be considered a slow reaction. It's to determine turns, who goes first and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Speed is straightforward, how far the miniature can move in tabletop inches. So for humans, it's 4 inches. Then there's the combat skill, which is added to all attack dice rolls. Humans have 0. And then toughness is really important, is the number that enemies have to roll above if they want to damage you. So all the humans here start off with a toughness of 3. So if they roll a 3 or higher, then it's a hit. And then I believe they roll again, and if it's 3 or higher, it's all 6-sided die, and it's only one 6-sided die. And if it's 3 or higher, then you're dead. And then there's your savvy. That covers technical aptitude, wits, and a bit of charm. It's usually used away from the battlefield, so when the battles are over and it comes to rewards and stuff like that, equipment or upgrades or whatever, it's usually used towards that. So, and then there's the luck points, and humans are the only ones that are able to have a 1 luck point, and it only goes to one of your members. And that's it. So, and then what you do is you take your D100 and you start rolling the dice. And I've already done that. You're going to need an extra piece of paper to write this stuff down, log all this stuff down here. It gets pretty deep. There's a lot involved in it, and that's what I like about this game. That's what it's caught my attention. It's a mixture of role-playing with miniature wargaming. That Ivan Sorensen, the creator of this one, he classifies this as adventure wargaming. So because you got to make sure the role playing and the miniature stuff all combined into one. So then as you go to the table, it's a background, motivation, and class tables, and you're going to be rolling for that, and it's exactly what it says. And before I get to that, you could choose robots, primary aliens, and then there's classifications like engineers. There's a soulless on here. There's precursors. Then there's this swift, which is some lizard species, and feral's another one. There's quite a few species on there. I'm not going to dabble too much. I'm not going to really get into that. This is really about the crew that I created. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there that do a really, really good job of step by step on this game, and I'll put those channels down below in the descriptions if you guys want to really dive into it. Then there's also strange characters, which is like ogre type, aliens or whatever, cyborgs. And you go to your background, motivation, and class, and you roll, and sometimes it's going to increase your ability scores immediately. It's applied immediately to your characters. So you're doing all this to build up your whole crew for the future your future campaign and missions and stuff. So like I said, the leader is allowed 1 luck point, and that luck point will never leave the crew. That means that the leader will never leave the crew through random events. So they can certainly be slain, they can be killed. Okay, background table. So you roll for your background. So like for the Captain Byron Payne, when I rolled, his background's in an industrial world, and he gets a +1 gear. So when I get to rolling for my gear, I get to add a +1, an extra roll to the gear table. With Glitch, I rolled, and his background's he's from a mining colony, and that comes with a +1 toughness. So you come back over here, and you erase. See, that's why you're going to need to use a pencil. You're going to be doing some erasing. So he's upgraded from a 3 toughness to a 4. As the rules say, you got to immediately change this and put that in there. Doc Rebel, his background's from a long-term space mission, and he gets a +1 savvy. So we add 1 here for the savvy. Norbit, isolationist enclave. Not sure what that is, man. But it comes with +2 quest rumors. Quest rumors are really cool because there's a certain table there you roll for, and it'll help you get treasures or XPs or credits, which credits is considered currency in this game, and that is very, very, very important in this game, because credits is what you're going to use to pay your crew members, hospital fees, pay the debt on your spaceship, tons of stuff to upgrade gear. It's there's a lot involved in that. And then there's Maddie Popkiss, and I believe, they both rolled the same. They're both military brats, so they both came with a +1 combat. So I added the 1 in their combat. Yeah, and then you go back to the table again, and then you roll for their motivation. So you got Captain Payne. His motivation is survival, so he's a survivalist. Well, with that comes a +1 toughness. So then you go back and I increase his toughness from a 3 to a 4. Glitch is I rolled the same with him, and he's a survivalist. Doc Rebel, freedom. He's motivated by a freedom, like a freedom fighter or something, I guess. And he comes with a +2 XP, which is also great, because that's another. The higher the XP, the more you can spend your XP to upgrade this character alone. And then Norbit Hicks, Seeker of Truth is what his was. So he comes with a 1 rumor, which is great, and 1 story point. The story points are valuable because, say we're in a fight or whatever, in the campaign, you could use a story point erase an injury or whatever from that character. It'll cost you a story point. So the story points help out on improving your crew and your spaceship and so forth. Laura Bramble, she's motivated by fame, and she gets a story point too. And then oh, and then Maddie is motivated by power, and she receives a +2 XP. Now with Maddie and Laura, they both have rivals, and Doc ended up with a rival, and same with Captain Payne. Rivals are considered your enemies. They chase you down, they'll interrupt any of your missions, and all that kind of. There's a lot involved in it. So the less rivals you have, the better. I end up with a total of 4, so it's going to be a tough go at the beginning here. And then you go back to the table again, and you can roll for a class. The class table is like for Captain Byron Payne. He's an agitator, and that's how he got his rival. Class 4 glitch is he's a petty criminal, and he gets a +1 speed, so he increases speed here, so he gets an extra inch on his movement. Doc Rebel, an agitator, and he comes with a rival. Norbit Hicks, Ganger. Norbit Hicks and Maddie both ended up with Ganger. Not sure what Ganger is, but it comes with a +1 reaction, which is neat. So it goes up. They both get instead of 1 reaction, they get 2 reactions. And then Laura Bramble is a hacker, so she gets a +1 savvy, but she also comes with a rival too. So, and that was pretty much how my crew ended up. We'll see how it goes. After you do all that, then you roll for your equipment. When you're rolling for your equipment, you start off with 3 rolls on the military weapon table. So it's another D100. You roll the roll number anything from 1 to 100. You look at it, and this is where the savvy comes in play here. For each crew member who rolled at least 1 savvy increase, you may take 1 of these rolls on the high-tech weapon table instead, if desired. So I had 2 guys that had 2 savvies. So on the 3 rolls, you may take 1 of these rolls on the high-tech. So I used 1 roll for the regular military weapon, which ended up being a military rifle. And there's also a weapons chart there, so you'll know exactly the range of each weapon and what their damages are. It's in the game, and you go to, like it says here, you go to page 5052 for all weapons, all the detailed weapons. But then I used a savvy and I ended up getting a glare sword and a blast rifle from the high-tech weapon table, which is pretty cool. But the neat thing is when you're doing the weapons, you do three rolls for a military weapon or the high tech with a savvy, and then you do 3 rolls for the low tech weapon table, and then 1 roll for gear, and then 1 roll for gadget table. Now I had one of the guys had a +1 gear. That was a pain, so I got to roll twice and get 2 pieces of gear, which is a fixer, and I got a med patch. And then for the gadget, I got a displacer, and the displacer is pretty much a transporter. You can transport from one side to another side of the table or something like that. So, but you get this big, you roll and you build this weapons pool here, and you could divvy out the weapons to any of your characters. It doesn't matter who, just divvy it out to whoever you would like to give the weapon to. I think that's really cool. So I could say, oh, Maddie could have the colony rifle, and Laura could have the handgun. I could just divvy it out for that campaign, and then they have that weapon. You can't switch during in the campaign or anything. When they have it, when you give it to them, it's theirs for good. And the same with the gear. I could give a fixer and a med patch to whoever I want. And the gadget, I guess that's the same thing. Or it goes into the stashed equipment here. Whatever I have left over, I could put in the stash for later on, or I could sell it and get credits for what I have left over too. And which should be nice, because see, when I get to the ship, when you have to you'll roll for your ship, and when when I roll for the ship, I end up with on the table, it's another D100. I ended up with an 88 on, I think, yeah, my roll is an 88, which means I got a worn out colony ship. And then you roll a 1d6 and add 20 for the debt that you owe for it. And I ended up rolling a 2, so 20 plus the 2 is 22 credits. So I owe 22 credits. I'm in debt for 22 credits for this ship. I haven't come up with a name yet for it, because you could give it a name, and then there's traits for it, and you could actually get upgrades after battles and stuff to upgrade your ship, which is going to be valuable, because eventually you're going to want to travel from one planet to another planet, and in the midst of the traveling, you could actually be in a fight in space or whatever, or bandits aboard your ship or whatever and stuff. So you gotta watch out for that, and you gotta be careful on how you spend the credits. The Worn Colony ship has a hull points of 25. So if I'm in a fight or whatever, in space or whatever, and the hull points go to 0, kaplooey, I lost that ship. And when I lose that ship, doesn't mean the game's over. It means whatever planet I'm on or whatever, I have to start on that planet and start all over and build up my credit in order to buy another ship. So this game is limitless. It goes on and on and on. And the neat thing is you could play it on your time. It's a solo game, but there is an option where you can actually co-op if you like. But since for a solo game, I could play this on my own time. The Worn Colony ship comes with a standard issue was its trait, which means the cost of all starship components is reduced by 1 credit, which is neat, because when the parts break or I need to upgrade the ship, it's going to be whatever the cost, how much the credit is. Say it's 3 credits for a new engine or whatever. Well, with this trait here, it's only going to cost me 2. So that's very cool to have. So I hope that any of you guys that have played 5 PARSECS from home, if I have made any mistakes so far, please comment below and let me know. So I'm very, very excited about this game. This may be the game for me. I mean, I know we play games and Zombicide's one of my favorite games. Wiley's Games is one of my favorites, and I think I came across one that really caught my attention here, and we're really excited about it. So 5 PARSECS from home. This is just my crew log here. Next up is going to be, when you get your ship in order and all that, my next video is going to be on the campaign for turn 1 campaign, to start world building, creating the world, creating that campaign.